I'm Brendan Gulick. Welcome to Buckeye Breakdown. TreVeyon Henderson had a more pedestrian day, shall we say, Coach Z. I think I should at least take credit for last night when I said that TreVeyon Henderson was going to have a good game, but by his own standards was going to have a more pedestrian performance because the guy was literally at 9.4 yards per carry through his first 5 games. That is completely ridiculous. He was at a much more manageable, reasonable 6.4 yards per carry today. Did end up with 100 yards. He was 16 carries for 102. Longest run of the day was 17 yards. He didn't have any huge long runs today. Did score a couple of touchdowns with his legs and then had another one through the air. I think that's one of the things that I so enjoy about watching him play. He is so versatile, and I thought, with the exception of the one screen pass that he caught and housed week 1 against Minnesota, I really enjoyed watching him out of the backfield today because he was clearly a big part of the check down game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting that if he had over 100 yards and it didn't even really feel that way, I think that says a lot about how he's been playing in the first, 5 weeks of the season, that, you kind of expect these big plays to come from him, and, to still then go over 100 yards is really impressive. But I do think that adds an extra layer to the offense as well, with the fact that, if CJ goes through his progressions and then, one of the many talented wide receivers are not open, then he can check it down to TreVeyon, and then all of a sudden the next thing you know, you're going to have another 70-yard touchdown out of the backfield when you weren't really expecting it. So I think that's a really great thing to have.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. And, one of the things that's great is Ryan Davis today really went back to the air raid offense. He ran mesh, which is basically a crossing route with 2 of the receivers, because there was a lot of man coverage going into this game with Maryland's defense. So you run a lot of these rub concepts, and with those rub concepts, every single one of those mesh type concepts, and you have different ways of calling it. And you have 2 layers. You have a guy over the top or over the box route, and then you get somebody out on the wheel, and that's where TreVeyon was, and they were able to just check it down. It's every quarterback's best friend. They talk about being a check down monster, but it's built in to what they really did early in the passing game, and it got him going a little bit. To have him have, I think it was something like 67 yards actually, receiving today. In accordance with 102 yards on the ground. Brendan, you did call it last night. You did say he would be somewhere in the realm of 6 to 7 yards, which is very pedestrian for TreVeyon Henderson. It's a superhuman account for any other person that's watching. Anyone that's listening, if you're on the Doak Walker award watch list, or you're a Doak Walker award voter, how this guy isn't the top guy in the country for this award right now absolutely blows my mind. We're witnessing history every single week, and it's a lot of fun to see 32 in the scarlet and gray.
And let's just say it again for punctuation's sake. He did not play his senior year of high school. He literally didn't play a live game from his junior year until Minnesota, and he's doing this across now a couple of different Big Ten defenses. He played well against Oregon. I mean, he is so unbelievably special and cut from a different cloth. I just hope people really appreciate what they've got here, because to me, it's easy to sit here as an Ohio State fan and have really lofty expectations, to know that you've got highly recruited, really talented guys. It doesn't always work that great. Sometimes the recruiting rankings are what they are when you're in high school, and for whatever reason, it doesn't translate to the college game. One of the things Ohio State has done so well over the last now 20 years is figure out a way to minimize those swings and misses. But it's still that much more noticeable when you see a guy like TreVeyon Henderson, obviously a home run type kid. I hope people are not taking for granted what he's doing.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that there's still 2.5 years at least of his career, which obviously, you're going to want to appreciate every single part of that. But I think that, there's downsides to maybe not playing your senior year of high school. But then when it comes to a running back, of his stature, maybe that wasn't necessarily a bad thing, because he seems like a kid, and I think he's talked about it a bit too, with just how much he stayed focused, off the field and just in the weight room and those kind of things when he wasn't playing. So, for him to get bigger and faster and stronger while not taking those hits in high school, that obviously allows him to stay healthy and be able to make a big impact now.